I'm Fran Campos. I'm the director of Rage, Street for Rage from Finland, the now filming sequel, Rage Unleashed.
I'm Danny Stokes. I'm the co-writer and creative consultant for Rage Unleashed.
I'm Adrian Vereda, and I'm an actor, and I play Axel in the upcoming fan film Rage Unleashed. And you're listening to the SEGA Lounge.
Welcome to the SEGA Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things SEGA, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for SEGA. Hey there, loungers. Welcome to the show. It's episode 215, and I'm really excited about this one. That said, in case you've missed it, last week we had our live episode for the month of March and discussed and ranked 11 SEGA series in the first part of our SEGA franchise tier list. It was a longer than usual episode, true, but one that I think most SEGA fans will enjoy or get angry at, or both. Both work as well. Go check out episode 214 of the SEGA Lounge and let us know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you hate us now? Stay tuned in the coming months for part 2. And now, it's time to introduce this week's guests. This week, I'm joined by Fran Campos, Danny Stokes, and Adrian Vereda, 3 massive Streets of Rage fans who are currently working on Rage Unleashed, the sequel to Fran's Rage, a Streets of Rage fan film. Get to know more about the guys as well as how meaningful this project is for all of them for various reasons. Also, are they really true fans? Like, really true Streets of Rage fans? Guess it'll take a certain challenge to find out. Hello guys, welcome to the SEGA Lounge. Welcome. It's an honor to have a panel of guests here, 3 guests at once, which is nice. So I'm going to go from my left to my right. So let's start with Fran Campos. Hello.
Hola. Hello. So nice to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
Nice to have you. We also have Adrian. Hello.
Hi, so nice to be here in your podcast. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you very much. And Danny.
Hey, man. Thanks very much. Again, everyone said it, but thanks. It's a real honor to be asked to come on the podcast and get to promote something that we're all so passionate about. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. My pleasure. So you're here to talk about Rage and Rage Unleashed. A couple of projects, fan projects related to Streets of Rage, which is awesome. And I was telling you guys this before we started recording, but now that we're actually recording, I think it's nice for everyone to hear. It's not every day that I get to interview people who are working on a fan film, right, or a film of any sort. So we usually have musicians, we have people who run websites and write books or are making games, but films are not really the everyday like scenario here for the SEGA Lounge, which is very exciting for me. So I'm really excited to learn more about this project. But I want to just take a step back first and learn a little bit more about each of you, like in general, and also how you got involved with the project and Streets of Rage as a whole. So I'm guessing, Fran, you're a big Streets of Rage fan, right?
Yeah, Street for Rage was, I think it was one of my first video game I ever played. I played with my dad in Sega Genesis. Here in Spain, we call Sega Mega Drive.
Mega Drive, yeah. We're all from Europe here, so yeah, Mega Drive, yeah.
And it was amazing. I think it was the first beat'em up I ever played with Golden Axe, and I then became upset. I cannot say how many times I play the three first games of Street for Rage, and when the fourth tournament go to the now modern video consoles, I play that game. I love the game with my friends, and it started to run around my head the idea of write and a script about Street for Rage to Chopinist. At first, I write the first one like only a hobby because we was in pandemic, but that idea became real when I showed the idea with some of my friends and some of the actors. And now here we are with a sequel more bigger than the first one, and with all the love, all the fans of Street for Rage.
Yeah, awesome. So you're a filmmaker, right? That's your actual craft? Yes.
Yeah, I started as an actor,
Okay.
but I became filmmaker 10 years ago, and here we are.
Okay. Okay. How did you get into the movie business? As an actor first, and
Yeah, I started as a child. I was a child actor because my first work was around when I was 11, 12 years old. And then I acted in a few short films, theater, short roles in movies or TV shows, even some of English TV show like Snatch.
okay.
And then 10 years ago,
Daddy's shocked now.
Last year and a half.
it was like that 10 years ago. I started to write because I always like to write my own scripts and my histories and everything. I start with the phone with a very short film, and then I start with my first real short film was a fan film also, Misfit Size. Was based on old cartoons, Gem and the Holograms, and that becomes a blast because we go mentioning it in Rolling Stone and everything, and then here we are. I start to write this because I love Street for Rage, and I want to. It's like my love letter to the game,
Okay.
and to a way to join my love for movies, my career, and my love for video games and for Street for Rage and Sega video games.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Adrian, did you play the Mega Drive or any video games? Were you familiar
Absolutely, I'm a
with?
gamer, so
Yeah, you're a gamer.
yeah, totally familiar. Yeah, me the same as Fran. The one of the very first video games that I played was the Mega 6 cartridge in
Okay.
the Sega Mega Drive, and that cartridge had Sega Soccer, Columns, Super Monaco GP, Sonic, Revenge of Shinobi, and Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say that my childhood as a gamer was superb. So that was my first contact with Streets of Rage, and then in the video store in my neighbor, they got Streets of Rage 2,
Mhm.
and it blew my mind back then. It was a video game that was always rented, so it was
Oh,
very difficult for me to have that game. And here in my home, in my house, we didn't have that much of an income to buy video games, or even, I don't know, maybe emulation. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I mean, it was the 90s, so you get what you can get, and that's it.
yeah.
So many, 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 many years later, I played all of them once again through different devices. I got to play the third one, which is painfully insane. I mean, the third one is like, no way. At least the European version, the Japanese one, is actually more bearable, in my opinion. And I'm so happy that Streets of Rage still goes on today with the full game. So that's the background for me as a gamer. But as an actor, it's quite different because it's now at this point of my career when I started to try different roles, more physical, more action based, not that much of a comedy plays for me because yeah, I landed some roles in TV, but always stereotypical Andalusian comedic guy, you know. and I'm sick of it, kind of sick of it. So for me, playing Axel, saying that it's kind of a dream come true will be an oversimplification. Even though we are one team, just going to the shore all together in the same boat, as difficult as it is, because we don't have any budget whatsoever, we are giving everything we got. But I would rather do that over and over again, instead of playing, as I said, a stereotypical Andalusian character in a big TV role, because this is pure passion, honestly.
Awesome. And we'll talk a little bit about like what that involved in terms of preparation, but I can tell that you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, and that's a very nice mention of the Mega 6 game, the pack, right? Yeah, that's good. That is nice. I actually, when I got my Mega Drive, I got Sonic with the Mega Drive, like the pack in, and then a Mega Games 1, which was the World Cup Italia 90 game, Columns, and Super Hang-On.
Sega Soccer, that was
Sega Soccer, exactly, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, but I actually played Streets of Rage much later. And I have a lot of memories of playing Streets of Rage with my dad, which is one of the few games that I actually played with my dad, because he was not really into video games. So it's also a nice memory I have of playing Streets of Rage with my dad. That's nice. So now that we've heard about Fran's story, Adrian's story, what about your story, Danny? So how did you get into the movie business, the film business?
I've wanted to be an actor ever since I was about 6 years old. It's all I ever wanted to do. It's something I wanted to get into very early on. And I went through the usual channels of being involved in the theatre scene in Leicester, where I grew up. And that followed on to going to drama school in London and Birmingham, and then moving to London and just getting an agent and pursuing my dream. But the one thing that always kind of inspired me throughout was this desire to write. I mean, a load of my heroes wrote themselves a career. If you think of like Sylvester Stallone, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, Simon, all were actors, performers, directors who created something for themselves because the work and the projects they wanted to do. See, man, the work that they wanted to do wasn't. So they created it for themselves. And I always had that in the back of my mind as something I wanted to do. So I started writing short films and putting things together with friends of mine. So acting was second nature. Writing was something that clearly felt like it was the amount of scripts that I would get through as an actor, that they didn't read how people actually spoke.
Okay.
It like some of the writing wasn't, I was like, that's not how someone sounds when they're saying X, Y, Z. It needs to be more fluent. It needs to be more like that. And that's one of the things that I've always tried to do as an actor, is make sure that the characters I'm portraying imitate real life. There's a realness to them. There's the relatable quality to each character that I try and perform, and that's where writing came in nicely. Streets of Rage, on the other hand, the original Streets of Rage was the first game I ever played. I was about 5 years old in my cousin's kitchen. We played the first one. I remember just being too young to really take it seriously, but being fascinated by what it was. I remember just kept pressing, like calling the police and just blowing up everyone, even if there was one Galcia on the screen. I was just blowing him up. I was like, yes. But being fascinated by the fact that the kind of games my cousin and I would play would be, okay, so you're a vigilante and I'm a vigilante and we both know martial arts and we're going to go and beat up everyone who's evil. And then he showed me this game that was that, but I was getting to actually kind of see it. And the following Christmas, we played Street Fighter 2, the original on the SNES. And I just got completely hooked on fighting games, like 100%. That's all I wanted to play. And when I finally got my first Mega Drive when I was 7, my dad actually went out and looked to see if Street Fighter 2 was out for the Mega Drive, and it wasn't. So he said to the guy, he went to Toys R Us and said, "What's the best fighting game on the Mega Drive?" And he said, "Oh, Streets of Rage 2's just come out." So my dad just picked that up, thinking, "Oh, that looks fighty." And I remember the first time we played it and I heard Go Straight, I was just absolutely hooked. It was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I remember we'd just sit there reading the manual, trying to find out all the moves, like the blitz attack and how this takes a bit of life. And that was it. I was just absolutely sold on side-scrolling beat-em-ups. And so naturally, the want and desire to play make-believe and pretend to be these characters and then to be able to play them in Streets of Rage, the two just went hand in hand. So years later, when I finally heard that Rage was coming out and I saw the hype around it on YouTube, a friend of mine who I've been playing Streets of Rage 4 with now and Streets in general for years said to me, "We're going to watch this together." Yeah. And I was actually in hospital when it came out, and he rang me up and he went, "Dude, it's dropped, but I'm not going to watch it until you're at hospital." So like the first week I came to hospital, we sat in my lounge and we just watched Rage, and I was just like, right, I need to know if there's going to be more of these. And I messaged Fran on Instagram and just said, "Mate, congratulations, great job, really enjoyed what you had going on here." And we just started chatting about our love of Streets and, you know, how we'd both kind of grown up with it. We're similar age. Granted, he's a little bit younger and better looking than me, but, you know, still. But then we just started chatting about that. And from there, it just became just swapping ideas. And then he said, "Do you want to have a read of, I've started the second script. Do you want to have a look?" And we just kept swapping stuff back and forth. And before you know it, we were basically writing a second draft. And I think it started off when Fran gave it to me. It was about a 20-25 minute short. And by the time I'd finished with it, it was like an hour and a half.
Yeah. So you're to blame for the bigger length. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Really nice. So I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. I was expecting like one big fan of Streets of Rage and then two people who got to know Streets of Rage because of this project, but not exactly what we had here. So that's great that you all had a love for the games before you started. Awesome. And so let's go back to the very first one, which is now people can now actually watch it on YouTube, right? Rage. So Fran, how did the idea for this come about? I know you've made you worked on a lot of other projects, even fan projects as well. Like you had one based on Poison Ivy from the Batman DC universe as well. But why Streets of Rage? How did it come together? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was when the Streets of Rage 4 was released. I played the game and I played with my best friend that game online because we was in the pandemic, and it was amazing because it automatically transported me back to my childhood, and it was like playing again that Street of Rage 1, 2, and 3 on my Mega Drive, and when I played 4 and I saw all the character bring to life again with this new style, it was amazing. And then I started to write a short story about how I imagine these characters in real life, how I can offer a short history about this with actors. But it was like a hobby. It was like, okay, I'm going to write it because I want to write this. Be inspired in the 80s, 90s action movies, like Die Hard and everything. And then when I show this script, this history, this short history, it wasn't even a script yet. It was only a short history to Jorge Porras, who was my actor in Ivy and who joins in Rage Unleashed in the role of Tiger. He says, "Oh my God, this is so good! Please, you have to do this. You have to make a fun thing about Street for Race," because he was a fan. And then I start to set up things, and I start to talk about my project to some people, and they become very interested, and we go to that idea and become a real fun film, a short film. It was my very first action movie. I never did any action movie before. I never directed any action movie before. I direct thriller, musicals, but not action. And it was amazing. It was amazing. We learned a lot from that first experience to this sequel, and we improve a lot in this sequel, and we are pretty excited to what are we making in Rage Unleashed, and to show that to the people, because we have all the experience before. We improve all the things we know we can improve on the sequel, like scenes and everything. We also have an very amazing cast in both projects. In the first one, we have a very amazing cast. In the sequel, also the same. They return, mostly of them return to the sequel, and the new ones was amazing. And I think all the people involved in these projects, they are not only a very good actors, filmmakers, artists, because we have a makeup artist, amazing makeup artists, amazing cameramen, amazing crew. They also are fans from this classic game, so they are very uh, excited to participate in this, and we want to show that love we have for games to all people, and we want to show that if we can do this without any money, think about what we can do with money.
Yeah.
So
that's another
that
thing that was in the fact that Derek Kolstad, who's the writer and the brain behind the John Wick series, he was granted the rights to Streets of Rage by Sega late last year, because obviously in the wake of the success with Sonic 1 and 2, and obviously Nintendo with the Mario Brothers movie, I think Sega saw this real kind of leap in popularity of their old games. So obviously they've announced they're going to do a new Shinobi, a new Golden Axe, a new Jet Set Radio, and of course another Streets of Rage kind of spin-off type game. With Kung Fury, the kind of cult underground movie, being a bit of an inspiration when we were writing this, that's been caught in post-production hell for years. And it's which is a real shame, because I've been waiting for that movie to come out now for most of my daughter's life, and she's almost 9, and it's been caught in absolute hell. I think Sega have got this idea that just maybe with Derek Kolstad on board and this kind of love for kind of late 80s, early 90s nostalgia and that kind of spin on it, I think they're hoping to capitalize on something like that. And Fran and I spoke about that very early on. We said, look, if someone's getting on board, let's try and get in at ground level with something that we can kind of show, look, this is what we're about and we're doing with our love for it. People who are actually passionate about it, not just people who go, oh, I like making films, so therefore I want to do it. People are just, with filmmakers, writers, actors, creatives in the IP, do you know what I mean? Who are actually interested in what it's based on. It's not just a movie, it's the characters, it's the world building, it's everything about it. And hopefully, getting in at a ground level and being able to put something out there, you never know, might translate into something to do with the bigger picture. You can only keep your fingers crossed, but the fact that we're getting to do something at any level is a blessing, really.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. It started, like you already both mentioned. No, all three of you mentioned no budget, right? So another question for you guys: how did you end up getting, the budget? Were there any kind of help, any support from any government agency or whatever? Any funds that you could get? I mean, yeah, Adrian is like laughing. Okay, government support, yeah, obviously not happening. But was there anything that you could anyone you could go to for help and for support in making the first one and the second one now that it's bigger?
Yeah, we have support. We don't have funds. We don't receive any funds, but we have support. For example, in the first one with the Hotel Paz Espada, who let us film in all the hotel. for free.
Okay.
They share all the space to us for free. Like in this one, for example, with the Torremolinos main hall, or who let us the big theater here that is an amazing location, or the Hotel Meliá, or the Disco Centurion, who was one of the most important LGBT disco clubs in Spain. They let us film there all the thing in Diva Club with the fights and everything. That thing is a support for us because we cannot afford to rent a space like that. We cannot afford that. They film there. For example, we film in the Sabiote Castle. That castle was an amazing castle in Jaén, in Sabiote, and the main hall shared the space for us. But that castle was rented even for major Hollywood movies. Assassin's Creed was filmed there, and we was filming there with the castle all for us, only for us, closest to the public, and all for free. That support, that is a support for us. And all the people who get involved here, the crew, the actors, Danny, Adrian, they work here for free. We make this without any payment. We made this for all the love we had for the project, because we trust in the project, because we want to create something phenomenal. Also, Adrian was telling before, and that's sadly real here in Spain. We only have opportunity, or we only get in project, like you only have one role, and they put you in that role, and we don't have any more opportunities. We have to, if you are one comedy, you are going to receive only comedy roles, and you're only going to see the same characters for you. And this is like a I'm not going to see a revenge or something, but it's like our way to say, okay, we can create this, we can do this thing, we are more than capable to do more than what you see. And we are going to do an action movie, we are going to do an action role, and the people are going to see this.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Take this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, but it's nice. It's the best way to show everyone that you are capable of more than just like whatever people want to cast you in, right? Not being typecasts. Typecasting is not really that great. It could be good if you want to always do the same thing, but if you want to branch out, probably not the best.
But even though you can do or you can be in typecast, it's worse than that for many reasons. Because if you're typecast and you're getting roles over and over, from one side you are working so you can pay the rent, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But the bad side of this is that when that thing is over, the people will look at you only as that. Think about Jim Carrey, for example, one of my favorite actors. He's a a terrific actor in different movies, which, for example, the Truman Show, The Majestic. I forgot this name because
Man on the Moon.
It's No Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
These films show us a different Jim Carrey, but the people always remembers Liar Liar, The Mask, Batman Forever, all-time favorite. And that's the thing. In Spain, it happens the same. We don't have that much an opportunity to show different skills. Plus, the star system here in Spain is very I want to talk about video games. I don't want to get into that stuff. But let's focus on the games, because I tend to get nervous.
Daddy wants to say something. Daddy's passionate about this as well.
I agree with you, mate. Typecasting happens all across the industry, and it's very much a case of, if you get a job that's what they see you as. And unfortunately, casting can become very narrow-minded because people, managers, casting directors, producers think of you as a brand and not as a person who is a writer and an actor and a comedian and a voiceover artist and a character actor and all the rest of it. I spent most of my early career playing thugs and drug dealers, and I weighed about 10 stone at the time. I was very thin, very gaunt. And then I got to about 25 and they went, "You're too old to play that anymore. We don't know what to do with you." So I was like, well, luckily I do a bit of comedy. So I started doing comedy for years and I was the skinny, funny kind of character. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, you're too old for that now again." And so I went back to thugs. Now I'd put some weight on and they went, "Your teeth don't match your casting. You've got very straight white teeth. You don't look like a villain." So you can never know what they're going for.
Prosthetics, maybe?
But there's a thing called makeup. I
Yes.
mean, you can make some makeup, dude.
It's almost like
No.
what we do is real.
Yeah. So maybe I can break some. I don't know. Maybe I'll lose some teeth, perhaps. Maybe, and I'll come back.
The fact that we're able to, we're now trying to put ourselves in a position where people can break it. The box isn't forever. It's what we're doing is able to kind of go, just because Fran's made some very serious kind of hard-hitting stuff and he's made some very film noir-esque kind of dark dramatic stuff. Now he's doing some action. Now he's breaking out of the box that that some people would say that he'd created for himself. He's proving that that's not the be-all and end-all. That no one, especially in a creative industry, we're not the one-trick ponies that I think a lot of people would regard. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So Adrian, let's talk about like your Axel. So big thing here. You're central to the whole plot and the whole the two movies. Tell us about like what was the process of preparing for this role? Because we were talking a little bit before about like the physical aspect of it as well.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say that I got this role as a replacement from a terrific actor, Mike Vallo, which was unavailable to play Axel in the sequel. So I mean, cheers, man. I hope you're fine, and I'm trying to do the best thing to make justice to your role. So if he's hearing this in the future, so Fran contacted me after I contact him um, about the first short film, because instead of just praising him, which I did, I said, "Look out, Fran, because the fight sequences you have the right people, but I think the frames, the way of how you film that choreography, it's not showing up the skills of your cast members." So it was a bold move because I knew from a while, but I would say I wasn't that much of a trust person to say this, as
Yeah.
any other people
It was
who
a
work with
risk.
them
He took
in
a
the
risk
past.
there.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
a
the
risk.
perfect message. It was the best. Honestly, it was the perfect message because you didn't praise me like, "Oh, it's so perfect." No, you made it critique, and that was I was very thankful for that. Honestly.
Great.
So with that in mind, when the Axel role was free, he offered me, and at that time I was practicing boxing, and I making some muscle. As I said before, I'm trying to get different roles, and he offered me the chance. So from that moment on, I getting myself more involved into fighting, learning some martial arts, improving my boxing skills, all to be in the character. And I was scared at the moment because I was only reading and reading and reading, and that's it. But when I saw myself with the Axel costume, the gloves, the bandana, all the thing, it was a really powerful moment for me as an actor because it was the first time that I said, "Dude, I am this person. I am Axel." It's like I don't know, maybe Christian Bale playing Batman or Ben Affleck playing Batman. It's like I am the character, and let me tell you, it's one of the most great great things that can happen to you as an actor. be able to play a character that you're in love with. And I hope the fans of the video game, when they see my approach to Axel, they kind of appreciate what I'm trying to do, because in the role of Axel, I try to go with a 90s kind of action hero, always making some kind of jokes, not being that serious, because that seriousness of the plot, Adam and Blaze are giving it. So
Yeah.
I put myself in that situation as a not comedic actor, but rather kind of cynical, kind of, picking the bullies up. So come on, let's fight. Um, with that in mind, making puns based on one of the worst and best action actors from the 90s, and that's Steven Seagal. He's at the same time the best and the worst thing that has ever happened to the action scene, because at one point when he's with this face, this pale face, unexpressive face, it's like, oh my God, he's tough, man. But when he speaks, mm, that goes off. But only with the presence, and this non-acting expertise, it's like, man, you're, you're something special. So yeah, that was one of the approaches to
Okay.
Axel,
Okay.
Megan, Steven Seagal
You
kind
must
of guy.
apologize to Steven Seagal for your own safety for that.
No, I won't. I won't. This is full confidence, But I think you get the idea. The action movie heroes from the 90s, not the
Mm-hmm.
80s. Those
Mm-hmm.
are the golden years. No, the 90s, which was like a transition time to a different kind of action films.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, I'm very curious now. I'm very curious now. After that description. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to this. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And so where does this pick up, the second one? Maybe Fran and Danny, you're more involved with the script. So the first one was a short film, right? People can watch it right now. And there's a continue at the end, right? So there's a hint that things could move forward. Are you just picking up where the first one left off, or are you like restarting, so to speak, now that you're doing like a more full-length film?
No, it's a direct sequel. We
Okay.
start where the first one ends, with some changes, of course, but it's a direct sequel. And also, with Danny on board, it was amazing to write this sequel, honestly, because he's so passionate to the project. He was so passionate to the game, and we were sharing all the scripts, all the things we write. Oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think? And it was amazing to write this sequel. And we start as a direct sequel, and we talk some things especially from the second game and fourth game.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The thing is, we wanted it to be, because we knew we were going bigger with it. We wanted it to be, if you'd seen the first one, we wanted it to lead nicely into the second one, but we also wanted it to be able to stand on its own if someone happens to come in and just find that one on its own. What we didn't want is for you to have had to seen the first one for it to make sense.
Okay.
But I remember when we first started writing it, there was things that I'd be reading through and I'd say, right, is this? Do we need to keep this bit? Because I was like, okay, do you mind if I take this bit that you've written, I kind of embellish it, and I was broadening certain elements, and there was bits that I was adding that Fran said, we need to cut this back because that needs to lead into this next bit. And he had all. The nice thing is working with Fran was really a really good experience, because Fran, with his director's brain, has got all the beats of the movie clearly laid out in his head. And me, an acting background and writing, I'm all about words and making the characters have cool things to say that lead into nice things that then can potentially build into this next scene, which elaborates on everything that we've put together so far to create a cohesive 3-act structure. But with that in mind, we had to keep swapping back and forth bits that we'd done, because there was some bits that I wanted. There's, for example, there's going to be 2 completely new characters that aren't from the franchise, that we're just kind of, broadening the world, as it were. And that that Fran really wanted to make sure that we kept them in. And I said, right, well, if we're going to keep them in, they need more of a purpose than just, we're fighting for Mr. X. What's their connection to the rest of the characters? Who do they know? Why have they come to this conclusion? What is their motivation? And we ended up building a scene out of that. And Fran, when I'd finished writing it, he came back to me and he goes, mate, I liked these characters before. He goes, and now I care about them.
Okay.
And just that was for me, having written it, I was really proud of it. But also it's nice to see that that's something that, Fran had obviously created these characters, and now they existed cohesively within the world that, he'd imagined. And it was a challenge for me to kind of have to be able to keep his vision in mind whilst not getting too carried away with it myself, when I was going, and then we could do this and this and this and this. And at one point he said, Dan, how are we going to do the special effects for this one bit? And I went, it's all right, we'll work that out later. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because you have like characters spitting fire and stuff. So yeah, I mean,
well, that was work for three studios. No, 3 studios. Who was special effects studios. The creator was Hector, and they are sites here in Spain, and they do an amazing job. They are working in campus about Star Wars, and I recommend that to see their Instagram, because they do an amazing job in visual effects. They do the Big Bang flames, and also all the views from the Mr. X headquarters. We was in a city. That train was all special effects. It was, in reality, it was a pool behind that. It was a pool in the garden. It was very and they did an amazing job.
Yeah.
In fact, when we shot in Centurion Disco, in the club, there wasn't any lights, any disco lights, anything. We were just focusing on the fight, because it was a fight scene involved in that day of filming. And I thought, this is not kind of I imagine. But then Fran told me, no, don't worry, because the special effects will come later. So I want to see that, because in my mind, I remember one way, just in my Instagram, we got the fight sequence shots. But then in the movie, it will be like, oh, so that's where we're supposed to be. Okay. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited, as much as the fans of the game. Yeah.
Awesome.
There was a whole sequence. There is a whole sequence between Estelle and another character that we ummed and ahed about how we were going to keep it and what we were going to do, and could we make it work. And I think after a lot of evenings sat on FaceTime deciding whether it was doable, and because I'm doing some of the editing as well for some of the scenes, I was like, I reckon, between myself and a friend of mine who's an editor down in London, I said, I reckon we could make it work. Because he was like, Fran said to me, he goes, I really don't want to have to lose this scene. Are we sure we can do it? And I was like, I reckon we've got a shot at it. I said, we're not going to find out if we can do it by not doing it. And the nice thing is as much as it is a stretch doing it on a very limited budget, no one is going to lose their job or never be employed again if we do get certain things that they don't come off exactly. It's never going to look like, it's never going to look like The Matrix.
Okay.
but we're going to our absolute damnedest to make sure that what we are able to work with, we're going to be able to use and utilize. It's a good platform to be able to do that, because
for sure
no one broke any boundaries by playing safe.
It's very true. Very true.
Yeah, but anyhow, Danny, don't worry because The Flash just came out last year with a 200 million budget, and the special effects were horrible. So I think we are safe ground.
So at
Yeah.
least it's not going to be as bad as that. So yeah, you're
No,
safe. We're
No,
safe.
definitely not. No.
Okay.
No,
So other than speaking fights with everyone now, it's like Steven Seagal, out of The Flash, like Warner Brothers. So yeah, no, okay. Yeah. First on the Seg Lounge. Nice. Okay, so guys, by the way, so if we don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen the first one, go watch it. Is on YouTube. But it's just like close to the game. So Adam's brother gets kidnapped, and our Streets of Rage cast goes in search of Eddie, right, and trying to get him back. That's where the first one ends, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the second one begins, I assume.
Yeah, it's where the second one begins, but Eddie, let's say that Eddie is not exactly a very easy target.
Okay.
He's going to fight. He's going to fight back.
Okay. Nice. So we don't want to spoil anything.
Huge shout out to Fran Burgos, a terrific actor. It was a blast filming with him. He has a great sense of humor. He's a great acting companion. So yeah, look forward to him in the movie. He's absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
And he looks perfect.
I have the opportunity to share some scenes with him as an actor. Because I appear here, I'm first one as an actor also, as Signal. Yeah. And it was, as Adrian say, it was terrific. It was an amazing actor.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
He does an amazing job as Eddie.
Awesome. Okay. So guys, let's do a quick break here of talking about the movie. I'll ask you a couple of questions later, but I always have something on the show for everyone who comes on the Sega Lounge, which is like a surprise. Yeah, those are the correct reactions. I call it the Sega Lounge Challenge.
Now that you know our guests, it's time to put them to the test. It's the moment we've waited for, and the moment they dread.
Welcome to your doom.
I mean, welcome to the Sega Lounge Challenge.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest now, because after talking to you for a little bit, I'm not sure how much of a challenge this will be. So I came up with a little like quiz. Streets of Rage quiz. Not very difficult, so I think you're going to just crush this. It's going to be very, very easy. It's both. We will have both questions and some bits of songs from the games. Okay. Mm-hmm. We have 10. Can we get a perfect score? I think so. You guys are like experts on this, whole thing. So we'll try. You can either play as a team or against each other. I don't know.
We are a team.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a team.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's go co-op. Okay.
Yeah, co-op.
So, round 1 is a question. It's the easiest question here, I think. So let's like a warm-up question. What is the name, very hard, of the evil organization led by Mr. X?
The three of us at the same time?
3,
1, 2, 1.
Syndicate. Yeah.
Okay. The Syndicate. That's it. Or I don't even want to like. I would be more suspenseful here, but no. Yeah. Good job. That's it. Correct. Okay. So round 2. Round 2 is a song. Okay. It's a little bit of a song. 10-second long clip. I think it's 10. Yeah, I think it's 10 or 15. Can't remember what I did for you. I think I did 15 this time because I thought, I don't want to make it too hard. Now I'm regretting my decision. But so what I want you to tell me is the game. Okay, where is this from? If you know where it is from exactly, like the specific level or stage or whatever, better. But you don't need to. Okay, let's take a listen to the first one. Okay. Okay. Everyone's like, yeah, I know. Yeah. So yeah, please. Who wants to go first?
Who goes?
Adrian.
I mean, the tune.
I would say Danny.
Easy.
I would say Danny. Danny was like,
Danny.
yeah. Danny.
That's
Danny.
back Rage 4. It's level 1, isn't it?
Yep.
He said that's their back from Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
I mean, this is too easy. This is too easy. He knows the name of the song. He knows the name of the song.
Pressed start, down, X, replay on Mania Plus way too many times. I've heard that opening, so.
On Mania Plus. Okay. Yeah. I'm leaving now. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So 2 for 2. That's amazing. Number 3 is another question. Okay. I wonder if this is a character that appears in the movie. What is the name of the kangaroo who the team first encounters and fights in Streets of Rage 3?
Damn!
That's got 2 answers.
That's got 2 answers, yes. I will accept any of them.
If you're playing the European version, it's Rue. If you're playing the Japanese version, it's Victi.
I remember the Roy, the first one. The first name.
Yeah, I remember the clown that was slapping the poor kangaroo.
What's his name?
The kangaroo's name was Rue or Victi. The clown's name was Bruce.
Clown's name was Bruce. The cloud's name was Bruce, yes. I actually thought to myself, I'm going to ask about the clown instead, but no, let's go with the kangaroo. Yeah, Rue in the West, Victi in the Japanese version, just like Daddy said. Well done. Very good. That's it.
I mean, Streets of Rage 3, man, it's so underrated and poorly received and unknown for many fans, It's not that quotable as the first one and second one, even the fourth one.
Version's better. The Western version.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Way better.
There's a hack, I think, like a ROM hack that people they used the Japanese version and it used all the Western assets and put them into the Japanese version, and it's a much better version of the game. Yeah. It's like the version that we should have gotten over here.
Yeah, well.
Okay, but anyhow, 3 for 3. Amazing. We're going to go for 10. This is amazing. Round 4 is another song. Ready? Who's ready? Okay. Very easy one. I'm so regretting my life choices right now. Okay.
I mean, come on.
I don't know what that means.
The first game, the first song of the game, the Streets of Rage 1, Stage 1.
Is it?
Is it called To the Streets or is it called Beat Street? I can't remember.
Yeah. No, I think no, Go Straight. No, it was.
It's not Go.
It was the Streets.
No, Go Straight is the second game.
Girls in the Streets, I think.
Yeah, Fighting in the Street. That's what it is.
Fighting in the Street. Yeah.
Fighting in the Street.
And
so it's like I don't really need to delay this for much longer, right? So you know it is, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm just here to watch the show. Yeah, it is, and it's called "Fighting in the Street." Yes, it's the name of the song, the first stage in Streets of Rage 1. Okay, good job. Oh my God, you're crushing this. Okay, you're gonna need to come back at one point, and we're gonna do this much harder. But question 5. Remember the kangaroo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of a little bit of a harder question, in Streets of Rage 4, where did you find Rue the kangaroo?
It's on the
Danny's got
level, I think.
Wait, sorry?
I think it's one of the retro machines that you have to go with a taser and hit the machine.
No. It was on the background of a level, but it was.
Or he's standing behind the bar cleaning a glass just before you fight Barben.
Yeah.
If you walk up to him and press and hold up, he drops electric potion, acid, and a fire potion before you fight Barben.
Exactly.
Dude.
Yeah, I remember seeing Rue in the background.
So arcade machine with the taser or the bar? Which one is it?
No, the bar, definitely the bar. It was the bar.
There are hidden bosses, but that was.
I know why you think it's because just before where you see him, you use the taser to get to Abadede, level 4 boss from Streets of Rage 2, and it's just before you.
Yeah. That's why. Got confused over there.
I'm leaving. Oh, guys, you are awesome. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. In Barben's bar, he's working as a bartender, like cleaning a glass, like just like Danny said. Amazing. Well done. Okay, so 5 for 5. We're halfway there. Let's go with number 6, which is a song. Ooh, things are getting trickier now. So for people listening, they were like showing fingers. So I saw 3, I saw 2, I saw like Fran was like showing 3 and 2 and 1. I don't know. So
no, the one, no, it wasn't the.
It's the second game. It's from the second game.
It's the 4th level. It's the one that says "Do baseball" and it's like boo. It's the baseball stadium.
Yes, when you are going down in the elevator in the baseball park, then the fight until the boss fight. That dude, the wrestling dude, in the end.
Yeah. It's the start of level 4. The second part, the first and second area of level 4 in Streets of Rage 2. And
because the third level was the fight with Samza in the HR Geiger level.
The third one was Samza.
No, level 3 was Zamza in the alien house. This is the first 2 parts of level 4. The second part of level 4 is the third part of level 4 is when you're going down the thing the where the baseball diamond goes down, and that plays a different track. And then you go to
it's exactly it's before that, before the elevator. Yeah.
It's the first 2 parts before the elevator on level 4, Streets of Rage 2. But I can't remember the name of the damn track.
I'm going to say something. So that I usually do this with every guest, right? And one of the things I sometimes do is like a generic SEGA quiz. And one of the questions, by the way, which I thought about including here, but thought it was probably a bit too obscure, is in stage 4 of Streets of Rage 2, which of the following options is a sentence that you can see in the background? And Daddy, where are the sentences that you can see in the background?
It says "do baseball," which is a mistranslation, and the other one says "it's like boo," which is a reference to Dragon Ball Z. Not Super Boo, but I think Margin Boo, because Big Ben, when he jumps and does the belly flop, looks like Margin Boo.
Oh my God, I never knew about that's where it came from.
It's
really.
It's supposed to say he looks like Boo, but it says it's like Boo.
Oh, I never knew that. So option A, it's like Boo. Option B, Dodgers forever. Option C, play ball. And some people don't get It's Like Boo because what the hell is It's Like Boo, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And It's Like Boo and Do Baseball is the other one. Very good. I never knew that. I never knew the reference. That was a reference to Boo. Interesting.
Someone had shown a photo of Majin Buu and then Big Ben doing the big belly flop he does at you, which is his stun move, and they look almost identical.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's from like a rip from the. It looks similar to how Boo looked in the SNES game of Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Way before Kaichi and Budokai and all that, but yeah, similar.
So yeah, this was just like a side note. You said Streets of Rage 2, and yes, of course, the song is called Under Logic.
That's what it's called.
Under Logic. Yeah, well done. I mean, yeah, let's just do this for fun now. Question 7. In the original Streets of Rage, what kind of projectiles does the enemy Jack throw at you? Danny knows. Adrian knows. Fran knows. Everyone knows.
Go on, I'll let someone have a go. Go on, have a go.
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
I think it was knife, one of them. Also, they throw you the pipes.
In Streets of Rage 1,
yes.
In the original Streets of Rage 1, what kind of projectiles does the enemy Jack throw at you?
In Streets of Rage 1, he's juggling fire in the second level, and on the ship, he's juggling axes. Sometimes he just jumps back and can pull axes out of his coat to throw at you, which you can block with a jump kick. He was obviously evolved into the Jack we know, who pulls the knives out, spins them, and throws them.
Yeah, you're the same. That guy that looked like a clown, but no, it's not a clown. He's juggling dude.
Fire.
Yeah.
Throws them up
Yeah, with the fire and the axes. Yeah.
You first meet him, I think, on the beach, right? On the beach level.
Yeah, it was on the beach level. On the level 2.
Oh, the second one. Yeah, the second one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Anyway, so what's the answer? Knives, pipes, axes.
Axes.
Axes?
Axes and fire.
Axes and fire?
Axes fire. Yeah.
Axes and fire. Could be. But it is, yes. Torches or axes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Very good. Good job. Well done. Nice save. Yeah, so that's why I said the original Streets of Rage, right? So things change. Yeah, in the original one, yeah, torches or axes. Good job. Okay, we have one more song.
Oh.
Let's see. Let's take a listen. Last one. Okay.
This is from the disco. In the third game, yes, because Yuzo Koshiro at that time wanted to go full experimental music instead of the beats of the second and the first game. For some, this was a bold move, but I will not say the best of moves because I don't really like that much the music from the third game.
I agree with you, but if he hadn't done that, we never would have got the boss theme, which is just called Boss, which I still think is one of the best boss themes ever. And also Shinobi Reverse when you're fighting Yamato in the Japanese temple is a brilliant track.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mixed bag for me, you know. It has really good tracks, but it's not like 10 out of 10 soundtrack like the first one and the second one. I mean, you cannot top that.
But I'm so glad.
You can know exactly when Street of Rage song it is because it was like Adrian say, and then he say it's like Yuzo was experimenting with the music in this one, so they are very different from the.
I mean, he was experimenting in all of them, just like changing genres a bit, like in this one probably. In this one, I'm not saying this one. Who knows if this is Streets of Rage 3? I'm just like saying you're right. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not. No, you are. You are. Of course you are. Of course you are. Yeah, but yeah, this was more of an experiment in terms of like the genres and the involvement of Motohiro Kawahiro. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, butchered your name. Sorry. But yeah, okay. There's a point there anyway. So 8 points, 2 questions left. Can we make it to the perfect score? I think so, because the last two questions are very, very easy. Starting with number 9. What are the names? I'm ashamed of myself. What are the names of Mr. X's children?
Go on, Fran.
Go ahead. This is yours.
Sorry for the English, because I honestly it was Y in English, right? The letter.
Yeah.
Y twins, Mr. and Miss Y.
Why am I nodding yes? No, I shouldn't. I should be like saying maybe, or I mean, yeah. Of course.
Now, you said obviously in English it's the Y twins. What would it be in Spanish?
Mr. and Miss E.
It's E. Oh, interesting.
Like the video game Ease, which I always thought was called Wise as a kid, because it's Y. Yeah, wise, very wise, knowledgeable, and then like, oh,
yeah. So the E twins, the Y twins. Yes, of course. Why did I put this here? Yeah. Okay, next time I'll make this 10 times harder. But we'll see with question 10. Question 10 is the last one. Although we've talked about this already. So what is the name of the enemies, like the group of enemies, usually identified by their different colored jackets, who you fight in every single game of the series?
Excuse me, you are talking with the leader, man. We are the stick now again.
Yes, very good. Well done. The signals. Well done. Good job. And that means it's a perfect score. Well done, guys. Very good, very good. So that means you get the official Sega Lounge seal of approval, which is a real thing, and I will send it to you later. So, yeah. But good job. But
just to prove that we're not posers in any way.
Exactly. No, far from it. Far from it. Yeah. So you exceeded my expectations and then some. So amazing.
I mean, it's a proof that this film, Streets of Rage, the Rage Unleashed, is in good hands. I mean, when these come out, the fans will enjoy it. That's
definitely. Okay. And so I don't want to keep you much longer. Just a couple more questions before we go. So people can watch the first fan film on YouTube right now. We'll share a link in the show notes for everyone who hasn't watched it yet. What's the plan for the second one, for Rage Unleashed? When do you think it's going to be ready? When do you think it's going to drop? How can people find it?
We're going to, the people could find us in Instagram, in Rage Fan Film Instagram, and also in Facebook with the same name, Rage Fan Film. And we keep updated with some news and even share some behind the scenes videos and footage and everything. We are going to try to release this project at the end of the year, fall. We cannot say exactly date right now because we are finished our filming. We still has 3 days of filming. We want to finish this month, but we are going to try to maybe fall. I cannot say sure, but we are going to try.
Okay, yeah, that's the plan.
Hopefully. Ideally, I mean, once we've finished the editing, we're ready to proceed with the general release. Hopefully, if you're a fan of Streets of Rage in any capacity on the internet, whether it be Facebook groups, in Instagram pages, Sega, Lizard Cube, anything like that, any forums that are out there, we're going to be posting it. pretty much anywhere that we have a connection with the fans. And I mean, I'm just speaking for myself as well, I'm involved in a lot of different Streets of Rage fan groups on, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, all the rest of it, like Streets of Rage Brazil, all that kind of thing. It's going to be posted pretty much everywhere where fans congregate. So if you're a fan of Streets of Rage and you're on the internet, you're not going to be able to move forward without hearing about it.
Okay. That's a very nice thing to know, right? So people who don't worry, you'll find us. You'll find the film somewhere.
We don't. Well, the last thing we want is to work as hard as we're doing and trying to put out as much as we are, and then for it to just disappear. And the fact that the YouTube algorithm doesn't pick up a lot of stuff, regardless of how much work you put in. Not how it was 10 years ago, where talent was talent, and if it was good, it got found. Mm-hmm. It needs to be released at the right time to the audience that are going to watch it, depending on the clicks, likes, shares, hashtags you've used, whether or not you've got any copyright infringement strikes that, even if, because we've got obviously every bit of music that we're using, we have rights to use, but you never know what YouTube's going to be like, so it may get pushed down. Our job after we've finished is to promote the hell out of it and make sure that the fans that we want to see it find out about it so they can actually be drawn to it. So as much as obviously we're going to do our best to make sure that, where we are on social media, we do our bit, we're also going to be trying to seek out the fans who we want to see it so we can have their feedback and get their reaction to what we've made.
Awesome. And we'll obviously talk about it when it's out. So we'll post about it as well here on the SEGA Lounge. Very excited for this. And you, Dan, you just mentioned something that I wanted to ask quickly as well, which is about the music. So what's your approach to the soundtrack in terms of because you mentioned copyrights, and that's a concern, I'm sure. Right, but you want to stay true to the feel of the games as well, I'm sure.
We do. I mean, one of the things as creative consultant that I was kind of tasked to do was the way I got into that role was when I first saw Rage. There was a couple of moments that I like we talked about earlier with Fran saying, he doesn't want people around him to go, yeah, you're brilliant, you're fantastic, that's the end of it. I kind of went to him, and similarly, as you say, I was in a way a little bit cheeky. I said to him, look, do you mind if because I was at the time, like I said, I'd just come out of hospital and I had nothing but time. I wasn't back at work yet. And I said, look, do you mind if I just take the first minute 40 of the movie and I want to re-edit it slightly. And then I want to show you it. I don't want to put it anywhere. I don't want to put it on the internet. I just want to go, look, this is something that I just want to do as a bit of a pet project. And he was like, yeah, sure, do your thing, man. Which a lot of people would be like, absolutely not. I don't want to, have your opinion or see what you can. I've done it the way I want to do it, and it's perfect, and it's my baby, and that's that. Fran was very open to the idea. So I took the opening of Rage, the first minute 40. I muted it. I added an establishing shot of a city at night that I have. And then I found a cover version of the intro to the first Streets of Rage intro, where you're watching the story pan up across the footage of the city. And then I just redubbed a lot of the sound effects with sounds that I'd got in a sound effects bank. And I used some sound effects from the games themselves. And then I dubbed over the voices with myself and a friend of mine and my wife as well, doing some of the female voices, and just showed it back to Fran and went, look, this is, I think, just using a couple of extra things. And I said, also, this track that I've used isn't the original track, because obviously that would sound very 16-bit. But it was from a fella I've worked with in the past, who a lot of the Streets of Rage community are aware of. A fella on YouTube, you can find him, called Ice Ferno.
Yeah. Good friend, former guest on the show. Yeah.
Phenomenal remix music artist. And I spoke to him and said, would you mind if I've used this in a bit of a trailer type thing? I've not released it. Would you mind if I use some of your music? And we got talking, and he's allowed us to use some of the music for the film. So kind of he's on board, and there's a few other artists who we've kind of found through YouTube and through Spotify and SoundCloud who have remixed a lot of the tracks, who are equally in love with music as we are. And so the sounds that we're using are obviously, we've got permission from them, but it's obviously because it's a re-recording and a remaster, we don't obviously need Sega's permission to use that because it's classed as a recording. It's like it's a cover. So we got around a lot of it in that way. But I mean, I was also speaking to a couple of the guys who worked on Streets of Rage remake, and obviously they remastered a lot of the tracks firsthand to put them into stereo HD quality. So I've spoken to a few of the guys who worked on that, and they've allowed us to use some of their tracks as well. So we've got a nice amount of music that we're able to use and that I'm able to draw from in the edit, that fans will be able to watch it and go, I know that track, or that sounds just like it. But it's, again, it's not the 16-bit or the 8-bit variants. They're fully HD studio ready tracks that you will totally know. Just like we've been playing the challenge game, fans will exactly know what these tracks are, but they'll sound more cinematic. They'll sound like when we were kids playing and we thought, this sounds incredible. They're going to sound like how we imagined them in our heads when we were kids. And that was the goal for that.
Awesome. Okay.
And
so it truly is a fan project. Yeah, sorry,
yeah,
Adrian.
and something to add to what Danny said. This is a very common mistake in many film adaptations of video games, with few exceptions. One would be the Super Mario film. We got the music absolutely perfect, because they don't tend to use the songs or the tracks from the games, just a little bit of sound effects here and there, but not the songs. And the first example I got in my mind, back to Sega, which would be the Sonic films. I mean, the Sonic films, opposite to what many people think, I think they are pretty good movies. I mean, they are fun, they are entertaining. I mean, yeah, they are mostly nice films, but they don't have songs from the games, you know? And there are a couple of moments watching the film that I thought, man, they could use this song here to present the character. Man, they can use that, but they don't. Maybe because of what you said, the difficulty of
The
adapting
licensing,
some from
yeah,
16
perhaps.
games era.
Or yeah.
But yeah, but that, I'm so happy that that won't happen here. They will listen to us and say, yeah, this is the real deal here.
Yeah, and that's. I
in
think
many
that was.
ways.
I saw a movie, a video game movie that they made this move. It was absolutely amazing. It was Silent Hill. In the Silent Hill movie, they used
Underrated
all the soundtrack
film.
of that movie was the soundtrack of the game. All the soundtrack. It wasn't just one track. It was all the soundtrack in the movie. It was the same soundtrack on the game. And even in the next Sonic, they are going to make this happen because they already
Are
used
they?
Live and Learn from the Sonic Adventure 2.
Are they?
Please
Are they? I don't know.
do that. Please do
Maybe. They hinted
teaser,
at that, but just the teaser. I don't know. Would be nice. Would be nice to have more Sonic music in the movie.
I mean, they're bringing Shadow the Hedgehog, a fan favorite for some. Bring the music, please. We need to compensate with something.
I think one thing that everybody, I think, in the fandom unanimously thinks is, without intending to, Yuzo Koshiro made himself the kind of hidden character in the game. Because take any of the games that have been produced and remove his work, and it doesn't quite feel the same. It doesn't hit the same. The music encapsulates so much of that late 80s, early 90s sound that it's synonymous with it. I mean, if you think about games that have that kind of iconic music, you think Mario, you think Sonic and Green Hill, you think, Street Fighter 2. But if you think of something like Mortal Kombat, you can't think of any of the tracks really, except maybe the opening theme tune. But you think of, The Pit. What's the theme tune to The Pit? You can't quite, even if you know it well, it doesn't stand out. They were very atmospheric and they worked well within the game. Listen to them. They don't work outside of that. Yuzo Koshiro and Motohiro Kirishima, they created these tracks that were as much a part of making the game what they were as anything.
So for listeners,
I know I'm
Adrian is
bringing
now
some nightmares to you. This is nightmare images now, but yes,
Mortal
I
Kombat
got it.
2.
Annihilation.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, the only best part of the movie was this soundtrack and the opening theme, the techno synthy.
I can raise the level. I can raise the level. Let me.
But
Oh, go. Let's see.
But I do agree. I do agree that the Streets of Rage is iconic, not just because of it, but in a great part because of the music. Oh, Tekken.
Man!
All the movies, all the video game movies now.
I mean, that's pure video store, video club movie. I love the Tekken film. I know I'm going to have lots of hate, but I honestly love that movie. Someday I will talk about that movie, but I think it
A friend of
just got it
mine.
right. I don't mean.
A
I don't
friend
know.
of mine
Got it
was
right.
there. One of my friends, the Spanish actress Marian Zapico, was
Yeah.
from the Ticket movie.
Okay.
She was Anna Williams.
Oh,
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
so but anyway,
what?
I'm gonna
Yes.
share Adrian's email on the show notes. So everyone who wants to send some hate mail, especially Steven Seagal as well. Shout out Steven. If you want, we'll leave his address as well, his home address as well. Just feel free to reach out and yeah.
Go ahead. I'm open to it. Yeah.
You've made a lot of friends here on this podcast, Adrian. Yeah.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah. Okay, so I have one more question. So we've talked. Thank you very much, guys, for explaining the process. We could keep going for hours, but I don't want to keep you. I said we'd keep this to an hour or so. We're already overrunning, but you're coming back, right? You're coming back when the movie's out. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more. Yeah, that's awesome. But I have a question that I ask all of my guests. We've been doing this for 10 years, so there are no wrong answers. Are you familiar with blast processing?
Yes.
Okay, so in the US especially, Sega said that the Genesis had blast processing, which made it faster than the Super Nintendo, the quicker, more powerful, right? And so Genesis with blast processing. So it's not a real thing, but let's say it is. And let's say you could add blast processing to anything in the world. What would it be and why? What would you add blast processing to?
That's a good question.
Anything in the world. There are no wrong answers. No right answers either.
Whatever you add it to, it makes it faster.
Faster, more powerful. I don't know. What would benefit from that, from blast processing?
Maybe go to the gym and try to lift more weight. Why? Because I got blast processing. Let's go with it. Maybe.
It's more buff. Yeah.
That's good.
That's a nice answer.
No,
That's a nice answer.
Process, Mom. Yeah.
I go one more blast processing, man.
No, say yes.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's a good one. Any more answers? Any more options?
Yeah, this
Maybe to earn money. Blast processing is to increase your money to make more projects and everything.
I'd put it on this film, mate. Do you know what I mean? Just like the careers. Do you know what I mean? Make this absolutely go to the moon.
Excellent. That is an idea for a physical DVD release or Blu-ray. Rage Unleashed Blast Processed Edition.
That's an idea.
Jan, you got it. You got it right there.
With extras and a director's cut and stuff. So Blast Processed Edition.
Yeah.
Blast processing cut over 2 hours. No, 4 hours.
The
long
4-hour
movie,
full cut.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's make it happen. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for coming. Fran, Adrian, Danny, very, very nice to meet you and to see such passionate Streets of Rage fans working on this film. Rage Unleashed, coming hopefully later this year, right? And for people listening to us, check out the show notes for the link to the first fan film as well, to get a taste of what we're getting later this year. Anything else you'd like to add before we go to the people listening?
Well, I want to say that we really want to share this sequel, and we hope that people found all the reference and found all the love we put in this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the same. We are making this for you, for the fans. We love the games, you love the games, and we are making our best to give you that, precisely that. So we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
Thank
by
you.
the fans for.
Excellent. Okay, so Fran, Danny, Axel, Adrian, thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and all the best for the rest of the project, right? The filming and editing and release. So all the best for that, and hopefully we can talk again soon when it's out. Okay.
Absolutely. We'll do that.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again to Fran, Adrian, and Danny for being such amazing guests and turning out to be such hardcore Streets of Rage fans. Next time, I'll put together a Mania Plus difficulty challenge just for them. Rage is available now to watch on YouTube, so give it a watch in preparation for Rage Unleashed later this year. You can find a link in the show notes. I really hope you enjoyed this episode just as much as I enjoyed recording it. Remember that every single episode of the show is available over at thesegalounge.com, where you can also browse through different categories of episodes, including Streets of Rage, and even use the search function to look for specific guests and shows. We're also up on TerraPlayer alongside many other amazing podcasts. So do check that out, terraplayer.com. It's now time to say goodbye for another week. Join us next time for another great Sega-related show. For now, take care and have a great week. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. The Sega Lounge, hosted by me, KC, and part of Radio Sega's network of live shows and podcasts. Theme song and incidental music by OSC. Got any suggestions? Drop me an email to podcast@thesegalounge.com. Find us at The Sega Lounge on X, Twitter, and Instagram, at thesegalounge.com on Blue Sky, and be sure to check out our Twitch and YouTube channel for live video content. You can find previous episodes of the show by going to thesegalounge.com, on the TerraPlayer app, and wherever you listen to podcasts. A Mixed On Productions podcast.